Hey guys, welcome to Massive Iron Live. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Let me get all my dog fur off me. Buddy Boy's right over here. Hi, Buddy Boy. You want to say hi? You chewing your bone? Buddy Boy's right over here, and he's feeling very needy today, aren't you, Buddy Boy? Welcome, welcome to Massive Iron Live. It is Friday, December 9th, 2022. I see YouTube's notified like 3 people. Way to go, YouTube. You can do it. You can do it, YouTube. I don't know what's going on. It's showing. Oh, here we go. YouTube notified some people. Welcome to Massive Iron Live. It's Friday, December 9th. I appreciate you guys joining me. I'm here every Friday at 9 Eastern. And it looks like my connection is pretty rough this morning. So let me know, guys, if the video quality is okay. I'm not sure what is going on. Before we get started, a few logistics things. If your questions don't go through, try posting them up again. Sometimes if they're too long, YouTube won't let them post. Sometimes if there's a word in there that confuses YouTube, it will filter it. I do not screen or filter your questiones, right? So if it's not going through, try to post it again. If it doesn't go through during Massive Iron Live, you can hit me up on Instagram. Hold on. Don't go anywhere, folks. I'm going to show you the, where is it? I'm going to show you banners. There we go. You can head over to Instagram at Ben the Barman. Post your question in the DM. I answer every question. All right, what's going on in the world of Liver King? Are we over Liver King videos yet? Are we tired of all the Liver King videos? Are Liver King videos still out? Can we do other things other than talk about Liver King? I don't know. Other than Liver King, what's going on? Right? Liver King, what's going on? I'll tell you, I got up yesterday and I had a client ask about overhead presses, and basically somewhere along the line they had picked up from somebody out there, some coach voice, that overhead presses don't work the side delts, right? Like, don't work them. Like, somehow the side delts aren't involved in overhead pressing, right? So, I'm like, I'm going to make a video about this. And I went and made a video, put it out, and of course, like seconds later, I realized Dr. Mike put out a video about overhead pressing right about at the exact same time. So I'm like, oh, great. Now everybody's going to think that somehow this is a response to Dr. Mike's video. And I actually haven't watched his video at all. So, we have a guest. Attack! Attack! We have a guest. Attack! You're too tired to what? You're too tired to be attacked. My wife Fiona is preparing for her first bikini contest, and she's dying. What are you shaking for? It's not he's shaking. All right, guys, before we're about to dive into things, just a reminder, if you post up a question before 11 Eastern, before I start, you get a chance to win a free t-shirt or hoodie. Now, if you're new here, don't be shy. Post up a question. That's what I'm here for. I want all your questions. You can post multiple questions, etc.
I've been building my big biceps. You want to see how impressive?
I'm getting beaten. Yeah,
Are they impressive?
Yeah, I think the tail is more impressive though right now. I think Buddy Boy's tail is far more impressive. No offense, but I think Buddy Boy's tail is far more.
Very offended
Buddy
by
Boy.
that. I'm very offended.
Buddy Boy. Okay. I think I just ate some tail fur.
Here he is.
All right. How was your workout?
Good.
What did you do?
I only bicep curled 25s.
Yeah, 25s. Like, she's in there, like, she legit just kind of like curls 25s like this, like they're nothing. right And then like you're looking, she'll walk into the dumbbell section at the YMCA and you'll
With
have
my
like the
nails done and my
like,
makeup on.
yeah,
pretty
like the
pink.
guys curling the 20s, or the guys curling 22 and a half or 25. She'll walk over and just do like 3 sets of 10, like
15 we did.
Oh yeah.
I don't think they
She's
think
just
I
like
can
sitting.
do
I'm
it.
watching her. She's just like sitting there going, 12,
My hair
12,
done, my makeup on, my
13,
nails done,
13,
my pink clothes.
14. And like she's hitting 15 rep sets. There's like not a look, there's no sweat up there on her forehead. She's not even shitting her pants or grunting or groaning. And the guy next to her, like she's over there curling like 15 rep sets of 25s. And the guy next to her with like the 25s is like,
She said, "Don't worry, love.
I'm gonna."
I'm
he's like,
older."
I'm gonna go do some crunch up now. I'm gonna.
It was funny.
Man, you got to up your game a little bit.
And I think because they see you come in and you're just this woman who's not very big, and they just think, "Oh, she's gonna come with the little pink Barbie wigs." Because look at her, all nails done and hair done and makeup on. It's like, yeah.
You know, if I can be honest, and this is not being critical, it's kind of the wife standard. If you, as a male, are not lifting what my wife lifts on curls or dumbbell bench, I know if you come into the gym with me and I push you, you're going to be able to lift more than that. Right?
Yeah. I do that.
Because I think there's a little bit lack of effort going on. That's not a criticism. I'm just trying to encourage you to stop being a pussy.
Just think about me and how embarrassed you'd be if I stood next to you.
I'm embarrassed. Like when I came back from COVID, I started curling with 30s. And then she's like, with the 25, she's like, 17, 18, 205.
Yeah, but I lift my own body during pole fitness class upside down. So how could I not?
All right, we're going to get on the live. Let's go. Yes, you are first. Congratulations. That's a first. Scoreboard that one. Congrats, man. Mom and Dad, what's your superpower? Good morning. Appreciate you joining me. Let's roll in. David Harrison, do you think barbell curl is more effective? Nah. I mean, I did barbell curl for 20 years just because it was like the old school lift, right? It's really hard on the joints, but, you know, all things considered, anything that allows a little bit of supination or a little bit of extra rotation, it's probably going to be inherently better. That doesn't mean the barbell curl can't be worked into a program. It certainly can. I give it to some of my clients as a test to see if they like it. So it's a fine exercise. I'm all about exercise variety. So if you can get in 3-4 curl variations over the course of 2 weeks, and if you want to try the barbell curl, that's fine. Leaving for a road trip tomorrow. Won't have my scale and may not have gym. When you're away from your home environment, the best thing to do is, and I'm not sure of your goal, so this is hard to generalize, but you know, to make sure we're not overeating or undereating, obviously focus on protein, focus on reasonable choices. Like if you go to Wendy's, get the baked chicken sandwich. If you go to Subway, get like a steak, egg, and cheese flatbread. You know, eat to satiety. Don't eat to the point where you're overeating. Don't get the crap. Even if you're bulking, don't get the fries and the chips and all that kind of stuff, right? If you eat to satiety, but eat good foods. You know, we don't have to, you know, weigh ourselves or weigh our foods or whatever. And if you guys are on the road, look, you may or may not know this, but you can get day passes at Gold's Gym, LA Fitness, Planet Fitness. You can get in a solid workout, right? So I always like to check in advance. Excuse me. I always like to check in advance before I hit a city to see if they have a gym. And like with LA Fitness, you used to be able just to sign up right on the worldwide inner tubes. Stein, how's it going, Stein? Tippy on good morning, Harry Ugly Dude. In your experience, at what point does adding 5 pounds a week become difficult? Right out of the gate. You know, like I mean, literally right out of the gate. If you started with 95, I don't know why my sinuses are killing me. I feel like I'm going to sneeze. Oh, excuse me, guys. I'm so very sorry. All right. That's I'm sure that sounds great in your ear. Just forgive me, all right? Only one strike against me today. Yeah, I mean, you're gonna struggle immediately. I don't like arbitrary things. That's why I hate linear progression. Linear progression says, "Hey, Bob, let's start with 95 on the bar and just add 5 pounds every week. Good luck. That'll last like 4 weeks max, right? Maybe if you're lucky." Linear progression, not linear periodization. Linear progression is probably one of the most idiotic things in the whole realm of lifting. It simply is. Come on. You can't simply add weight every week. It doesn't work like if it does, you won the lottery, right? So don't like that at all. It's nothing. It's not going to last at all. It's not. You'll be lucky to have it last 4 weeks. Somebody's going to come on here with big balls and say, "I started at 95 on bench and I got to 275 by adding 5 pounds every week." If that's you, very nice, much success. You're like a freak and an outlier. Stein, what do you want for Christmas? I should say, guys, post up your questions on anything: diet, training, nutrition, supplementation, off topic, whatever. What do I want for Christmas? I don't know, man. Just a good meal with my wife and to relax and watch a couple Christmas shows. That's really about it. At this point in my life, self-employed, my kids are out of the house. I have pretty much everything I need. One thing I like to do is collect old muscle magazines from the 50s and 60s and 70s. Like you go on Etsy and eBay and find lots of those. And I mean, a lot, meaning multiple books. I like to collect those. I like to see what guys were doing way back when, because it fleshes out your perspective, right? We can get trapped in this 2022 world. And one thing that's always helped me as a coach and just as a lifter in general is being able to see what they did in generations past. Before they had the worldwide interwebs, before they had the science guys, before they had Liver King handing out the workout of the week, or Ryan H handing out the workout of the week. Good morning, David. Appreciate you joining me. Timothy Lim. Missed last week. I went to bed before it started. Sorry to hear that, but glad you're here. Nursing a sore lower back, not lifting related, probably sex related. Does it make more sense to pull back on deadlift reps? Yeah, absolutely. What you want to do is, if you walk into the gym and your lower back is tender, sore, whatever, you probably want to do your warm-up sets just as a test. And if you find it manageable, I would still do deload work. I wouldn't do full speed work. There's some issue going on with your lower back, and just give it some time to get back up to speed. Timothy, do you give different nutrition advice for guys in their teenage years? Absolutely. Given that they're not seriously under or overweight. I say many people say that teens can worry less about cutting. Teens should not cut calories, right? Teens don't need to worry about calorie restriction, because look, if you are eating pretty reasonably, meaning not 2 pounds of French fries a day and a bag of Doritos a day and a liter or two of Mountain Dew a day, then it's going to be hard to gain weight. We need to focus on nutrition. Everybody needs to focus on nutrition, right? So if I have a teen that is overweight, I'm not going to tell them to cut calories. I'm going to tell them we need to really look. If you are a teen or a teen that's overweight, they need to focus on lifestyle change ASAP, right? That's the pressing issue. And if they do that, they're probably going to lose weight. Now, a teen, I have some really good teen lifters that work with me. I have a 19-year-old client that's been with me for a long time. And I was just going to feature his leg progress on Instagram. I talked to him again this week. He went from a 20-inch quad to a 23-plus inch quad in a year. just a year, 3 inches to his legs, using a body part split. Right. I don't have many clients that want to use a body part split because they fear it a little bit, but he did that using a body part split. So we do monitor his weight, right? We want to make sure the weight's going up, but we also kind of want to worry about, food quality and nutrient value, but all of us should be worrying about that, right? What do you think of Bromley's content? He's a good guy. I see him lately making a lot of videos I made in the past, good content. Like he made a video about grip strength. I made one several years back about crush and pinch and all kinds of stuff. So I'm kind of reliving 5 years ago my content through him lately. He talked about, I'm going to be a kind of a smart ass here, kind of like, in the old days, you would take jabs at your bros, right? So I've had Bromley on, and I have nothing but respect for him. He made a video about running 2 miles a day and got like 12,000 views. If I make a running video on this channel, I won't even get 1,000 views, right? And I'm running like 2 hours. I was running 2 hours a day for like 3 years. So I was going to make a smart ass comment about running two miles a day when I'm running 2 hours a day. But no, Bromley's content is good. He's younger than me and kind of treading some ground that I've tread before. He has a different style than I do. Because I like to do daily videos, right? And I don't like to spend too much time on production value. I've increased production value slightly this past year, but I want to make it about like when I get a thought in my head, for better or for worse, if it's crappy or whatever, I just want to roll it up. I just want to, put out information. And most everything I do, like yesterday's video, I might take a few notes. Like, let's not I'll be like, here's 3 points, right? Let's make sure not to miss these 3 points, you knucklehead. But beyond that, I like to just kind of speak naturally and not overly structure, because I've done this so often. This is what I talk about daily. And to me, this is just me. And you guys, I'm not criticizing anybody else, okay? This is just a standard that I hold to myself. If I can't talk about something off the cuff like I do on live, like just take your questions and fire off answers, then I'm not worthy of creating some fucking structure, right? With bullet points. I think the best content for me comes from just a natural flow. That's the way I like to deliver content. You ask a question, boom, I respond. That's how it's going to be in real life. I've always refined myself in that way. And if I didn't know something, I limit my response to what I know. And I'm not going to make up bullshit or research bullshit, right? Because if I get into the world of researching bullshit, then yeah, it's good to research things you don't understand, but that's off time stuff, right? That's off work stuff. But if you come to me right now and you ask me a question like on the street about something and I don't know, I'm going to say, I don't know, but this is what I do know. I'm not going to decide, hey, I want to make a video about foam rolling and then go research, every video on foam rolling and then make a video on foam rolling just to generate YouTube cash. And I'll tell you, that happens a lot, right? People become experts overnight when they can grab money. And that's fine. Do what you want to do. Make the content you want to make. That's not what I'm going to do. Right. I want to talk about lifting. I want to talk about the things I like. I want to talk about power building, building muscle, building strength. This is massive iron. Let's fucking get after it. Right. We commonly see most athletes for team sports maintain a higher body fat percentage than people. True. And it's not great. It depends on the sport, obviously. No, I mean, athletes are not, it's, any body fat percentage that an athlete has is going to work itself out in the wash, right? There are baseball players that are 40% body fat. The Brewers had one, and he's on the Mets right now. it's going to work itself on the wash. It doesn't really matter. Performance, only performance matters. Obviously, there's going to be a median and there's going to be outliers, but if you're heavier, it can like, you're not going to be 275 pounds in a safety in the NFL. You're going to be too slow. So things kind of work themselves out naturally. Eric, max strength versus strength endurance versus explosive strength. Is it worthy? Nah, don't overthink it, Eric. Don't. I mean, for most of us, we don't really want to mess around with the explosive world. Somebody's going to get their undies in a bundy, right? As my mom used to say, my mom, don't get your undies in a bundy. Don't get your undies in a bundle. Somebody's going to get undies in a bundy. Right. So, but I don't think most of us should be doing explosive strength training, explosive squats, that sort of stuff. There's too much risk and there's little reward for general health, general fitness, general training. There's gear levels. Okay. You have one. Let's look at like walking, running, sprinting. You have gear 1, which is walk, right? Gear 4, which is sprint, all out fast you can go. Gear 3 is a gear below sprint, where it's not a sprint, but it's sustainable for 60 seconds or over barely. And then gear 2 is like elevated above walking, but sustainable and kind of a conversation pace. So if you're running, gear 2 would be a conversation pace where you can run and still hold a conversation like this. So as far as explosive strength, that'd be more like gear 4, like all out max performance. That sort of stuff inherently carries with it danger. I'm not doing the you'll shoot your eye out kid, from Christmas Story. But you got to know the potential downsides of that stuff. I think it's far better to run at gear 3 occasionally than to try to run at gear 4. And the same goes with strength. I don't like explosive strength training. Just general strength training is going to help you with your athletic performance. You're going to have to get a lot stronger than you are now, but it's going to help you dominate and it's going to help improve your sports performance. Strength endurance, you can do some endurance stuff at the end, like, finishers and stuff like that. There's a little downside to that, but just be smart about it and don't get yourself hurt and don't tear a muscle. Value in doing untracked lengthened partials until true muscular failure for exercises. I have no idea what he does. I just do the exercise. I don't know what untracked is. I track everything. Lengthened partials. I don't know what a lengthened partial is. If you want to do a partial of like rear delts like this, that's fine. If you want to do that as a finisher, that's fine. I don't know what a lengthened partial is. If you can feel the muscle working and you can do a partial, you can do the thing is like what you're doing is inducing a time under a reasonable degree of mechanical tension, mechanical stress. And as long as the reasonable degree of mechanical tension or mechanical stress is there and you're taxing a muscle, if it's a partial, like a partial range like this, okay, you can do that, but you're going to have to up the volume. So anything works. Just don't think it's magic. It just has to be reasonable. The real thing with muscle building is it has to be reasonable. And something like that's not going to be your bread and butter. It's just going to be like, an afterthought. So always understand that anything that's reasonable, that taxes a muscle in a reasonable way, can be used as a tool. Must-haves for a serious home gym when a budget is a concern. I made a video about this, and hold on a minute. Let me try to find the budget. I'm going to try to come on. You can do it. I'm going over and I'm doing home gym, and I can't remember the budget that I put down. How to build the best home gym. If you search how to build the best home gym on my channel, I have a $2,500 option and a $6,000 option. So I don't really think you can build a quality home gym under $2,500. If you, I mean, we can't just all outlay $2,500. Some of you are going to have to build into it, so, but a quality home gym is going to require some money. It simply is. I have a video, how to build a quality home gym, and I have a $2,500 and a $6,000 variation. I think if you're going to get into a home gym, you have to ask yourself, am I serious about this? Right? Or is this just kind of a knee-jerk impulse decision? Look, a shiny object, let's buy it. I'm not saying this is the case for you, Eric. I'm just trying to set the table a little bit. So if you're serious about it, you'd be best to look at the $6,000 option in the long run and make a plan. If not, you're going to be stapled to a lot of barbell exercises. And there's nothing wrong with that, but not a lot of exercise variety. It really can get limiting on legs. It really can get stale at times. You need a squat rack, whatever that entails. And when I started out, I just had squat stands, cheap AF, right? I had a cheap AF barbell and a cheap AF flat bench, right? That's what I had. What I did from there is I got spin lock handles, cheap spin lock handles, and some standard plates. So now you're getting into buying plates, which is really the first money sink you're going to have as a home gym, especially dumbbells. But if you're going to have a home gym, you're going to need some dumbbell options. Seriously. It's just going to increase the number of exercise options you have exponentially. So apart from adding dumbbells, you want to have an easy curl bar, just so you can open the doors for a couple extra. It's cheap, so you can open the door for a couple extra movements. And then from there, you probably want to get a cable station that allows you to do lat pull downs, cable tricep extensions, seated cable rows, cable bicep, just a simple cable station will allow you to open the door. Beyond that's kind of your base level, right? So I would at minimum, I would consider that the essentials. Face has healed up nicely from the last time I attended Massive Live. That's good. We always encourage face healing, or my face healing. Did I have something on my face? I did at one point. I don't remember. Luke, any thoughts, suggestions on putting together a 3-day per week upper lower? Yeah, absolutely. I have a workout like that I have put out. It's basically upper, and in the middle you have torso, which is legs and arms. Okay, so if we're going to do a 3-day a week and you just have one lower day, which you probably, the lower day is going to be in the middle, right? It's the peanut butter and jelly. Outside your upper days, that's going to be your bread. So the upper days, we're going to do chest, shoulders, and back. Boom. You're going to probably have 6 exercises, 2 per body part. So if you do 2 per body part on those upper days, you have 4 total per week. So we have 4 total exercises per week for back, chest, and shoulders. Very nice. That's quality. That's a quality amount of volume. Then in the middle of the bread, we have the lower day, which is torso, limbs. Or excuse me, it's limbs, not a torso limbs. It's a limb day, legs and arms. So chest, shoulders, back on the upper days. Okay. And in the middle, you have limbs, arms, and legs. So you can do like 3 leg exercises and 4 arm exercises, or 4 leg exercises, 4 arm exercises. It might seem like it's going to be a little bit longer, but the arm exercises usually go pretty quick, and that's how I would do it, Luke. You're still using your Captain Crush grippers. I have them all. Here's the thing. I have a confession. I have a confession to make. I bought all, like, for most of my adult life, I wasn't making okay money. I I worked myself out of college, right? Because I like lifting so much. So I had most of my life I had lower, whatever, moderate income. Not poor, not great, just kind of an average income for an average schmuck like me, right? So working for myself, my book sales are pretty solid. And that afforded me a few extra bonus luxuries. So one of the luxuries I spent some money on was getting the entire set of Captain Crush grippers. It just felt nice to get the entire set, right? So yeah, I do use them, but the easy ones aren't that easy. That's the confession. Even for somebody like me that has been lifting for 38 years and that can deadlift or grip the bar without much of an issue, they're challenging. So like what I found out is the lower level ones are pretty darn challenging. So if you're going to dive into that world, you probably don't be a dickhead like me and get the entire set, because I'll never be using those higher level ones. Never. All right, let me get a drink. If you're new here, guys, post up your questions. Post up your questions. Post up as many as you want. I'll stay on as long as you have questions. Do you think he's deserving? Yeah. There's a reason why there's a backlash. Because, like, if we use our gut instinct, we get some cartoonish guy running around that never wears shirts, that doesn't brush his teeth or take showers. And he, like, come on, dude. Come on. If it smells like a dead fish, it probably is a dead fish, right? Yeah, I do. I mean, you got guys all over fitness world, plowing 1,000+ milligrams of test a week and then be like, I'm a natty. I'm like, okay, duck egg guy. Right. So you have guys at that level. We're all kind of used to them, or the schmuck bags that create like the exercise. 3 great new exercises you haven't tried for explosive chest progress. Like, fuck off. like we all kind of are used to those guys, right? We are. So they're at like this level. And then you get the king that enters, like, I never wear a shirt and I only eat raw organs and I sleep on a wood board. Like, come on, dude. Seriously. But here's the thing. $12,000 a month in performance enhancing drugs. You can do what you want, man. You can do whatever you want. But the question at the end of the day is, if we really want to help people, isn't it okay just to connect like this? Because if we're trying to go beyond this, I'm just who I am, right? I am who I am. And we all have to accept in life that I am who I am, and some people aren't going to like me. It's taken me 12 years to get close to 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. A lot of people don't like, I'm okay with, I do the best I can to educate you guys and to help you guys. And when I wake up, the best thing I can experience all day is to see, this might sound in the day and age of all of the bullshit, this might sound like bullshit, but if I can wake up and see a transformation story like Eric that I just posted on my Instagram, or anybody's, that's what it's all about for me. Because I believe if I stay true to what I am and I stay in my lane and just teach what I love and what I'm passionate, I teach what I'm passionate about. My way, the massive iron way of doing overhead presses and doing the big lifts and doing that stuff. That's my way. That's what I love. I believe if I just do what I do, I'll attract the right kind of people. And I don't want to put on an act. I might get sillier, sometimes I'm massive iron live, but it's nice to relax. It's Friday and have a little bit of humor and whatever. But I don't know. I mean, that's what it's all about for me, helping guys. I was in a miserable marriage for 17 years, and a marriage is two people, right? And I'm not bashing on my ex at all, but sometimes when you're kids and you get married and you realize you're two different people, right? Simple as that. I was miserable for a long time. I nearly ate myself to death. I wasn't happy. I wasn't taking care of myself. And I'm not shy about saying I'm not going to get on here and act like I have rippling pecs and a six-pack ab and I'm absolutely perfect. But I grew up in an environment. My father's no longer with us, but he served 2 tours in Vietnam, and he was a violent alcoholic. And when I was a kid, there were so many stories of violence. When I was 8, my dad wasn't living in the house, and he called once, and he said, I'm coming to kill everybody. And he lived with his girlfriend about a block and a half away. This is a true story. I was about 8 years old. You could hear the shotgun blasts as he was into the sky as he was approaching the house. He entered the house. Everybody ran upstairs. I'm an 8-year-old kid. And he sat on the couch. He's drunk out of his mind. My dad was like 6'3", just a monster of a man. And he handed me the shotgun, an 8-year-old kid, and he was just screaming for me to kill him. Right? So I'm not presenting this as some pity party story. That's my childhood, right? My childhood is stress. My childhood is poverty. That's the environment I grew up in. And to find happiness in a life that can be so chaotic like this, like a lot of people don't make it out of that. Lifting helped me make it out of that world mentally. It did. It 100% did. And that's why I fucking lift and love lifting, the mental strength it gave me. I could have slipped into drug addiction or any number of things, in that environment, growing up in that environment. Lifting gave me power. It helped me build mental strength. It was my father. It was my mentor. It might sound silly, but, it gave me confidence. It gave me power to control things, right? And I want to help people experience that power. So like earlier in the video, when I was talking about my wife's strength standards and, guys, not lifting what she's lifting, I'm not trying to be cruel. I know what you can do. I want to see you achieve it. And in that world, that's what I wake up for. That's what I want when I wake up, to help, to see people changing, to see people finally, it's a struggle. It completely is a struggle. And it's not easy at all. But when you can sink your teeth into it and you can grab it and grasp it and gain control and start making progress, that's a wonderful thing. And in this world, when I don't get on here and say Liver King is this and Humiston is that and Athlete X is this, it's not for drama. And it's not to be controversial. And it's certainly not for fucking views. I mean, look, guys, I've been doing this for 12 years. I don't make jack shit off YouTube. I don't. Let's be real. My views have been the same for the last 10 years. And I don't live in a fantasy world where, oh my goodness, I'm going to make a video about somebody and make an extra $2 today. It doesn't work like that. When I see other people doing things, that waste your time, it's offensive to me. It's offensive to me because I see myself in you and other lifters. Like, I was in that hell, where my dad was an alcoholic and I was super depressed as a kid and super poverty as a kid. And I was a latchkey kid. No one taught me how to live or to study or to balance a checkbook or to fucking change oil in a car. Nobody. I was just like, here's a load on the streets and live, right? So when I view other people, I view them like they're myself. I want to help them focus. I don't want them to waste time. I want them to save time. And when I see all these crazy fucking exercises and 7-minute bicep workouts and people taking $12,000 worth of drugs a month, all that shit is foreign to me because that has nothing to fucking do with what I do. And they can all be off in their little entertainment world, pushing levers for cash and whatever. I don't care. They can do whatever they want to do. But if they waste somebody's fucking time, then they deserve all they get. Timothy, I see Dr. Mike and his crew train with very controlled. I train with controlled reps as well. You want to have controlled power on your lifts, right? You can't move a weight unless there's power. You can't be on a dumbbell row like, all right, that's not going to build muscle. It's not going to build quality muscle. You have to have power, push power, power out of the hole in the squat. You have to generate a reasonable power. But the problem is, like you control the negatives on most lifts other than like deadlifts, and barbell rows. You want to, like, if somebody's doing lat pull downs and they're just like, right? They're just, you like my sound effects? They're not controlling the negative. That's going to beat up your body, and you're not focusing on good quality control. If you come watch me train on seated cable rows, it's drive it back, control, drive it back, control, right? So me and Dr. Mike aren't that far off. The problem is where some of you guys don't have good quality control on the eccentrics. Anything that increases the set intensity, like controlling the negative, not slowing it. We don't need to overslow it. We just need to control it. It's a good thing. Eric, I think best utilize lifts with a small window of progression? You understand they are what they are, right? So there are lifts that have a small progression window. Side lateral raises, not a bad lift, but you aren't going to wake up and do side laterals with 80s one day unless you cheat it. So it is okay to have one of those lifts, one fun lift in your week, but outside of that, we need to really focus on maximizing, putting into play as many quality lifts with as much quality progression as we can, because you can't get around it. Progression drives progress. So if you're doing shoulders, whether it's upper, lower, or body part split or full body, you have your 3 or 4 exercises per week. You want to pound. And then if you want to work in one finisher, pump, whatever, like lateral raises, go ahead. Over time, when you kind of hit a soft cap, then that pump exercise, that finisher, that isolation or exercise with a small progression window, you can start using it more as just the last 10%, a pump, the icing on the cake, the final beat down, the coup de grace, that sort of thing. Stein, great question. Plans on writing a new book? Yes, I do. My big goal for 2023 was to launch Team Massive, and that's about 90% done. Beyond that, the next is going to be, excuse my language, hide the kids. It's going to be a huge motherfucking book. It is just going to be huge, because I'm going to get all my knowledge in this book. I'm going to go through every lift. I'm going to go through every workout. I'm going to go through every protocol. This is going to be what my goal is, the motherfucking modern encyclopedia of muscle and strength building, of power building, my method, the massive iron method. And when I think about the length of this book mentally, we're not talking, I like there'll be 20 pages on squats alone, one exercise, right? I just don't see it as being small. So in the new year, that's my goal, to complete it in 2023 as a legacy thing. I want to get all my knowledge into one information base. I want to go over the pillars of success. I want to go over nutrition. I want to go over form on the major lifts. I want it to be a one-stop shop. And at times I can't envision it being one single book. I envision it in, it would probably be, what's the best way to frame it? It would probably be like the muscle building, strength building equivalent of the Games of Thrones series, right? Like 7,000 pages. That's literally what I feel like is in my head that needs to come out. Tipion, looking forward to Team Massive running. I'm going to be adding a Team Massive running group, and that's coming up probably this weekend. I got a couple client calls after I get done today with live. And how many days a week do you need to run to hit some level of proficiency? I would say at minimum every third. From my experience, and I've ran over 7,500 kilometers on some of the hardest trails in America and in Scotland and in Australia. And I'm not the world's greatest expert, but I have enough experience to get in a lot of trouble. Every third day, I would say, is the minimum, and you can still be pretty proficient. Timothy, might be a bit of a personal question. Ask all the personal questions you want. I saw your Instagram post with your daughter on it. We don't hear you mention them much. So curious. Well, here's kind of the thing, Timothy. And I hate to bring Jeffrey Verity Schofield into this conversation, or Faz Lifts into this conversation. I've had this conversation with Faz, and I have this conversation with other YouTubers. You don't really want to bring your family members into this world unless you know they're ready for this world, because regardless of who you are, even if you're Jesus, Buddha, the Pope, whatever, somebody eventually finds a way to mess with your family members. Somebody doesn't like that you don't like starting strength as a muscle building program, and they'll hunt down somebody in your family and harass them. I have had this happen several times. So I do not like to over-mention people on my family members on social media. Autumn can handle it. Hey, Autumn can handle it. She's right here. You guys can follow her. She can handle it. My wife can handle it, but you really don't want to bring, you don't really want to bring people into this world. This is Autumn, and she's 100% natural. She works outrageously hard. Like, I've seen her do like 100 rep squats with 135. Outrageously hard. And she used to be a gymnast. She doesn't do any starving herself or any issues with food. She works freaking hard. And she is a beast and just a special person. So, her and my wife, they can handle it. But you don't really want to bring up your family members. There were times when I worked at Tiger Fitness where I would hire an author to write, And then that author would get in controversy, and then people would come after me. Like, I knew what kind of trouble they were doing behind closed doors, right? You know, and I had people harass my ex-wife, harass my kids, harass my 8-year-old kids on social media. So you got to be really careful about that in this world, because 99.9% of people are good, but the bigger you get, that 0.1% that just is not have it going on up here, you don't want to drag people into that world. This whole thing can be crazy, and we don't talk about it a lot, but anybody that, I'm a small fry on YouTube, and the things I've seen, right? The 0.1%. I had a guy like harass me for a year, make multiple accounts, a 50-year-old fireman in Florida or something like that. For a year, he would make multiple accounts and harass me because I never took my shirt off, right? I'm not a take your shirt off type of guy. I'm not a bodybuilder. That doesn't mean I haven't accomplished some things, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I have a six-pack ab, right? But this dude went off the rails and harassed me for a year. I've had someone create a fake OnlyFans account for my wife, and it looked legit. The cover page, my wife doesn't post nude, but you get some weird people. So you do not don't bring them into this world. I say this to my wife all the time. From what I've seen, I would hate to be a celebrity because I can't imagine what the celebrities go through. I am so thankful to do this for a living. I am so thankful. But the 1% of 1% that just ain't right, those people scare you, man. They scare you. They do some weird shit. And if they find out anybody in your family, they'll harass your mom if she's on her deathbed. That's how crazy they are. When did you realize grips of some sort were important? I had brutal elbow tendonitis around 1997. Brutal, unspeakably evil, right? And it just continued on until like 2006. And I happened to see something called VersaGrips, and I tried them. And I was noticing they allowed me to use more weight on my rows, which was great. But I realized, after 6 months, my elbow tendonitis was completely gone. So, since that time in 2007, I've been recommending grips or VersaGrips for 15 years to people. And there is such a long track record of people using them and improving or completely healing from elbow tendonitis that it's nothing short of a miracle. So my experience with recommending VersaGrips isn't like some random chumley like, ho, 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 I think this might work, right? It's literally personal experience and 15 years of experience working with people. Thoughts on Squat U? Some of it's informative and some of it is border. Yeah, you nailed it. You nailed it. You nailed it. You nailed it. I unfollowed. I don't know. Don't take this the wrong way, but I unfollowed them because of all the fear mongering and paralysis by analysis and nonsense side of things, borderline nonsense. I can't stand it. I coach the squat for a living, right? I understand the squat. I am not the world's greatest expert on the squat, but I see over 1,000 squat videos a year. And I would consider myself probably the top 1% of squat coaches. That might be a pool of 1,000 people, okay? And that might sound like a bold claim, but I coach the squat for a living, right? And I'm nowhere near the top, right? I'm not arrogant, not a fool, but you have trained that show people how to squat, and then you have coaches that are also squat coaches. Not every coach is a form coach, So understand that. I love coaching form. And I see, when I say 1,000 videos a week, you guys might think that's exaggerating. It's not exaggerating. It's not. I have Team Massive. I woke up this morning and right out of the gate, I looked at 5 or 6 Team Massive form videos just in 20 minutes. And not all squats, but I'm just giving it. And then my clients, I see over 50 videos a day. I literally see over 50 videos a day. My clients can send up to 2 form videos every single day, 7 days a week. People think I'm insane. Other coaches think I'm insane. And maybe I am, but it works for me and I love to do it. My clients can send up to 14 form videos a week on any lift, curls, squats, whatever. So on any given day between Team Massive and my clients and the videos I get on Instagram, which is usually 5 to 10 daily, I'm seeing at least 60 form videos a day. And over the course of a year, that's probably closer to 2,000 videos, but I say 1,000 a year just to be polite. And most of them, 75% are squats and deadlifts. Well, maybe 60. Soy sauce. Have you ever desperately wanted to hit your progression indicator? All the time, man, all the time. It's okay to be upset. It's okay. It's okay to get frustrated. Use that as fuel. I mean, I do. I use it as fuel. I don't like to fail. I don't like to fall short. Just don't hurt yourself chasing that stuff. All right, let me get a drink, guys. All right. Keep your questions coming. I'll stay on as long as you have questions. Now, we're an hour in. The new year is coming. I'm going to do a quick commercial, so stay here. Don't go anywhere. We'll get back into it. 1 minute. My website, check out the coaching tab. Okay? I have room. I want to coach you. I'm with you every single day. I'm not a check-in once a week guy. We talk on the phone for 30 minutes. I give you a custom workout. Unlimited. We work together to adjust your workouts. We monitor your nutrition. We monitor your form. You get out of it what you put into it. Check that out. Please check out Team Massive. Okay? Check it out. It's $9.99 a month or a one-time fee to enter. And I will tell you, it's got a wealth of information. Not only do you get micro coaching or group coaching, daily check-ins, form checks, you can ask me questions. You get the supportive environment of Team Massive, okay? And $9.99 a month. Come on. You guys, I know there's a million people out there pulling for your time and your money with micropayments. But if you're into lifting and you want a troll-free environment, you want an environment that is positive, encouraging, that you can go to whenever you want for help, check this out. I do not allow nonsense, bullshit, or anything else. In addition, I have, I believe, over 500 of my articles, and I'll be putting up every one of my workouts in there for free. We're going to have members-only podcasts. I'm working on members-only podcasts right now, starting that up. Members-only articles, members-only exclusive content. So please check that out. Now, I also have a supplement line. I'm not trying to be in the supplement business, but if you want quality whey, you want quality creatine, I sell it at a reasonable price, so check it out. Christos, what's the best bands to help with pull-ups? Mine broke mid-rep. I'd get something quality like bands from Rogue or Elite FTS. And I haven't researched them lately. I'm just kind of pulling those two companies out of my butthole. But those would be the ones I would check. When you want to get really gritty, what is your go-to song? Good question. There's a couple. Unsung by Helmet. Just the intro of that song makes me want to punch through walls. Unsung by Helmet. And Sugar by System of a Down. There's a lot of go-to songs I have, but if I just want to punch holes through walls, those are probably the biggest two. How to peak the big lifts from trying to develop 1 rep max strength. Peaking is like a process of 4, 6, 8, 12 weeks. You want to reduce fatigue and you want to increase performance, or you want to let your strength shine. I don't often do this, but head over to my website. I'm going to show you guys this real quick. Okay. Hang tight because I want you guys to be able to find this. Let me see if I can pull this up. Hold on one second. Present, share screen, Okay. So there's my website. And if you go here into that searchy button and you search peak, P-E-A-K, peak and test your 1 rep max. So this is a little bit of a PDF that shows you how to do a 5, 8, and 12 week peak. And it can be used by the power lifter or the recreational lifter. So you can use this to peak into a meet, or you can use this to peak to test your 1 rep max. If you want to go really, really short, there's a quick 5-week peak. And you could basically use the principles and boil it down to a 3-week peak if you want, but you'll kind of understand the basic structure. Caleb, on overhead press, I get smoked after around 5 reps. I do tons of sets. That's okay. It's very common. What I found is that the shoulders tend to have less natural endurance. Not for everybody, not at all times, but tend to have less natural endurance than some other muscle groups. Here's where I learned it, and I've shared this story many times. The first time I seriously tried German volume training, I put 185 on squats. It's the first time, so I'm just feeling it out. And I did a 10 by 10. Okay, manageable. I didn't die. I did a 10 by 10 on barbell rows, didn't die. I did 10 by 10 on whatever, didn't die. I got onto overhead presses. Now, I have done a 315 BTN press seated and a 315 front press seated. I'm not telling you to brag. What I'm telling you this is to frame the gravity of what happened to me during seated overhead press on German volume training. I started out doing 165. I did 10 reps. The next set, I couldn't do 6 reps. So I dropped the third set to 135. I couldn't do 6 reps. I dropped the next set to 115, dropped the next set to 95. I literally was down to 65 pounds, like on set 8. I found out that there was such a natural propensity to experience endurance fatigue, weakening. The shoulders had a lower natural endurance for me, and I found this for a lot of lifters. So it's not uncommon. I work up on my overhead presses right now and seated pin presses by 3. So I do bar by 10. I do 95 by 3. Then I work up 20 pounds, 115 by 3, 135 by 3, 155 by 3, 175 by 3, 195 by 3, 215 by 3. Rest between sets is not rest pause, but it's minimal. Then once I get to a heavy triple, then I do a couple back off sets. So definitely not unusual. Done deal from Team Massive. Where would you put 2 rest days in your push-pull arms, legs? You got push and you got pull. I would probably, I don't like to lift more than 2 days in a row. Personally, on a push-pull legs or push-pull arms, legs, you can do 3 days in a row. You're going to be rotating between 4 workouts. So you want to put it, you're not going to be able to necessarily, well, you could plan two workout or 2 rest days a week. You want to do 1 after 3 days and 1 after 2 days. So workout, rest, workout, rest. And then you cycle through those 4 workouts. Either that or you do push, pull, rest, arms, legs, rest, arms, legs, rest. That's going to end up being more like a body part split if you do it that way. Amanda P, do you squat with or without shoes? I have a mental tick with doing squats or deads without shoes. Number one, I don't want anybody's stinky, sweaty feet in a gym, right? If it's a home gym, you can do whatever you want. But even so, like, I have this thing where, like, I envision the bottom of my feet are sweaty, and when I'm doing deadlifts, I'm going to skid or slide. Might not be true, but I kind of have this mental thing going on. I use Chuck Taylors on deads, and lately I've been using, just a normal heel gym shoe on squats. I don't go crazy, but I don't like to go without shoes. I mean, I have this weird mental tick. What's your prediction for England versus France? My main prediction is that I can't wait to watch the game. Anybody know if Brazil won today? Because I don't have the TV on, and I don't know. It was 0-0 at half, so let me know if you got the score. But I don't know. I can tell you I can't wait to watch the game. I kind of, don't hate me, UK fans. Don't hate me, but I kind of have a feeling France might win. England's been a little bit up and down at times. It really depends. Luck. Obviously, luck. Are they going to come out to win, or are they going to come out to try not to lose? I don't know. I just hope it's a good game. Ever coached any enhanced people? I've coached everybody, Timothy. You don't train anybody differently. It's kind of funny, on the internet talking about training's training. It's not like, I'm not being dismissive, like you take a pill or whatever. Yeah, the weight might feel lighter, but the way you train remains the same. Dr. AJ, good morning from Bogota, Colombia. Good morning. I appreciate you tuning in. Paul X, please describe exactly what it takes to maintain muscle once you're happy with your physique. Minimum. Easy. Super easy. That's one reason, like 2 times a week, 2 sets per exercise, not even pushing for progression, just trying to maintain. Super easy. That's why it triggers me when you get these lifters that spend 15, 10 years in the trenches and then like, oh, here's how I train now. You know what? It is super easy to maintain mass and strength. Well, 90% of your strength, not powerlifting, 1 rep max strength, but it's super easy to maintain. And guys like this are like, here's how I train now. Like, it doesn't fucking matter, right? Maintaining super easy. And if you're like at elite levels, here's how I train now means I might have gained an ounce in the last year. I don't really know, but I'm going to sell you my program because it's profitable. Eric, is there any point in making up misreps? No. Don't do it. I mean, you can do a rest pause rep if you want. It's only going to have minor benefits, but you don't have to be obsessive to that. Save your energy for the next lift. We want to progress. But the only time I would suggest doing a little bit extra is maybe on the last set of a lift. So 10, 9, missed 8, maybe 1 or 2 rest pause reps or a drop set. Rico, how's it going, Rico? How's the new training split coming along? Good. I actually got 3 in the pot right now, so I'm letting them stew a little bit. And when I have time, I'll get to them. C-Night, what is your opinion on intra-workout supplements? Waste of time, waste of money. Waste of time, waste of money, 100%. I don't care what anybody says. I'm not saying you can't use these. There's not a lot of science that really back these up strong, and you certainly don't need to spend any money on them. I've learned from running what intra-workout, what happens during intense workout, long bouts of exercise. Like during long distance running, your body is trying to figure out whether to use the blood to digest the stuff in your stomach or to work your muscles, and it's going to choose the muscles. If you eat a lot while you're running, or even while you're working out, it's probably going to digest not at all or super slow. The only way you can really get benefit from anything intra-workout is if you take it and sit on your ass and cool down for like 10, 15 minutes. Same with running. So I don't really find value. That's my personal experience and my bro experience. Are you of the opinion that creatine timing is not going to change the effect? Just take it every day. It's a cumulative thing, so you don't need to worry about timing. Max, is rowing a good form of cardio? I don't know, Max. The legs, here's my opinion, and you guys can do with it what you want. And Max, I'm going to give you a Massive Iron t-shirt or hoodie. So you are today's winner. Head over to Instagram at BenTheBarman or email me, benthebarman@gmail.com. Tons of great questions, guys. The legs and I have a mental thing about doing cardio with my arms, repetitive stuff with my arms. I just feel like I pick up too much fatigue in the upper body, and I don't like that feeling at all. The legs just feel like they feel like tanks, like they can go longer. They're built to grind. So I have clients that do. If you acclimate, you're going to be fine. Just be smart about it. I personally just have kind of a mental thing, but I've never really tried it over a long period of time. I'm sure my body would be fine and acclimate. What's your stance on meal timing? You have to be smart around it. Like, meal timing isn't going to make or break. Like, if you don't nail your meal timing, it's not like you're going to lose all gains. It's important for energy and recovery to get the recovery process started. So you don't want to eat too much before a meal where you're headed into a meal with all that food in your stomach. Because if you do, it's going to sit there undigested and it might have a chance to make you sick. So I like to eat about 2 hours before a workout, about 300 calories with some protein and carbs. And if you want 30 minutes before a workout, you could take some real simple carbs, fast digesting carbs, to kind of maybe top off, something that's not going to sit heavy in your stomach, something that's going to be fast digesting that can help you get those glycogen stores in check and prepare maybe for the workout a little bit. After a workout, probably a good idea, if you're not on a cut, to hit some simple sugars and protein immediately after the workout. I used to do a protein shake and some simple sugars, and then go home and have my nightly meal. So that's about as complicated as I think we need to get. Aberrant, do you know of any pre-workout without caffeine? There are non-stim pre-workouts, tons. I would head over to muscleandstrength.com and search the non-stim pre-workout category and search reviews. Also, do you need loading? No, you don't need loading for creatine. Just take 5 grams a day about the same time every single day and you'll be fine. Can you add your bigger bench to the already program you're running, like push? Yeah, you can do anything if it's structured right. So I might have to, tweak things around a little bit, but you're on Team Massive. I have so many bench programs. So if you want to, what I usually recommend for Team Massive members is that they push this information into a Google Doc that's editable and shareable. And I can move things around a little bit. C Knight, I know most of these things are top of the pyramid, but just trying to get, no, that's fine, man. When it comes to, think maximizing rather than optimizing, like the chase for optimization. But what can we do that's smart, that's reasonable, right? With meal timing and with training, and what makes the most sense? What's probably a good practice? Max, I saw a program that starts with 6 sets of 3 to build speed. I don't like it at all. There are a lot of programs out there that are like fancy bullshit. They really are. Speed is something you generate. Power is something you generate on sets that are actually challenging you. This is a lot of wasted time and energy for bullshit. What is a good progression approach from doing only 2 sets? There's a couple. You can do both sets max safe reps. You can do, if you're using the same weight, which would make sense if you're only doing 2 sets, if you use the same weight for both sets, it reduces having to change weight and reduces time in the gym, right? So it's kind of a smart approach. You can do the first set and then the second set max safe reps. So let's say you're doing seated cable rows. Do the first set for 10 and the second set for max reps. If the second set is 2 or more over the first set, like we have kind of a goal, a minimum target, we're going to set a target for 10 on our seated cable rows. It's an arbitrary target. It could be 8, 10, 12, 15. I don't care. But on the second set, you're going to push deep. And if it's more than 2 over the first set, then I would progress. You could also do 2s, which is work up to something you can do at least 7 quality reps with, max safe reps. And then your second set, drop 10% and do max safe reps. Rich. All us talking. See that picture of Rich? Rich, should I take that picture? Or is that off stage? I would, for those of you that don't know, we have a legend of the sport, of the bodybuilding world in the comments section. Rich Knapp was the first natural pro bodybuilder, wheelchair bodybuilder. Look at his conditioning. No one could beat Rich in conditioning on stage. It's not that Rich was just a wheelchair bodybuilder. Rich was a freak. They called him the freak on wheels. Had nothing to do with the wheelchair. Rich and I have been friends for a long time. And I was at I was at the show where you won your pro card. And we've trained together many times. I've seen Rich do single arm pull-ups in his wheelchair with his wife hanging off his back. Rich has been in my basement doing dumbbell rows well over 180, maybe with 200. So I have nothing but respect for Rich. And knee wraps, I always wear them. I don't like to get them so tight where I curse my mama's name, right? Where you're just like F the world. But I like to get them as snug as comfortably possible. Done deal. Let's go. 100,000 subs. Thank you. If you guys haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. I'd appreciate it. Harut, do you think negatives have a place in pull-up progression? I mean, there's no downside. If you're going to fight a negative on a pull, like a vertical pull or a horizontal pull, fight it at the elbow. Like if you're coming down, don't fight it at the hands. Resist at the elbow. Resist coming down at the elbow. That'll put more stress on the lats. Does that make sense? The legend of Mr. D. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you. Thanks, Rich. Yvonne, what are your thoughts on reverse grip underhand variation of the overhead press? I don't like that stuff, man, because I can't get there, right? I just can't get there. You like that, right? Like reverse grip bench, I can't get there. So I don't like it. Honestly, as an exercise variation, I'd say for 99% of us, it's not going to work. If you're one of the 1% that tries it, likes it, and gets value out of it, run with it. But just don't feel compelled to use it if just because somebody says use it. Rob, I broke my right wrist. I hope it was for a good cause. How should I train for the next 6 weeks? I fractured my right wrist this year. Just a mild fracture, but took forever to heal. Just do what you can with the other arm. Do your leg days. Do what you can. It's okay to do single arm work. There is some science that shows when you do single arm work, the other side grows. I don't know how accurate this stuff is, right? It's just kind of, some minor science. But my main thing is keep moving. Do what you can do. Don't overthink it. And don't hurt that wrist. Richard from Scotland, have a great weekend. Team Massive for life. Thank you, sir. La Jasson. Sorry. I was trying my best to sound French. Good luck to her. I hope she wins. Thank you. Scott, the range of motion for most reverse grip lifts is 6 feet under. yeah, it gets kind of dangerous, right? What is your opinion on zombie squats? Same thing as a reverse grip bench, right? Fun to play around with. If you feel really, really, if you feel really, really, good on them, let them rip. But just variations, they're all right to play with. I'm not against playing around in the gym. I just don't think they're a staple. Hit that like and subscribe. What kind of trumpet was that? What kind of trumpet was that? That was a finely tuned trumpet. I don't know. Was that A flat? I heard you can eat only. No, dude. This is such nonsense. There's no health. This is all propaganda. It's 150% propaganda, 100,000% propaganda by the fascist, whatever, crazy, climate culture crap. I don't want to get political. It's nonsense. It's bullshit. 90% of the food in America is controlled by like 10 corporations. It's true. This is not a conspiracy theory. You have PepsiCo, which owns like Frito-Lay, which owns Kentucky Fried Chicken. Every damn thing is owned by these companies. You know what's not really profitable for these companies? It's profitable when you eat fast food and junk with sugar and flour. You know what's not profitable for these companies? When you eat meat and eggs, because there's no profit in eggs. So they put out a lot of propaganda. Don't believe it. The opposite is true. Meat and eggs and plant-based and animal-based are the way to go, and you do not want to fuel their fast food, processed food. How do you describe it? How would you describe it? They are at war with our lives and our health, right? They are killing people with their food, and they're profiting from it. So you guys eat all the eggs you can and all the meat you can. It's good for you. This is nonsense. It's 100% patent nonsense. Team Massive is the massivest team of all time. It is indeed. And look, I call him Tipia, and you're like, typo negative. Like, oh, you know how many times I've seen Tipia on? Too many, things. You're messing me up. Yeah, you're right. Typo negative. Thank you. Any tips on how to maintain speed athleticism? I mean, weight gain should be reasonable and slow. When I was bulking at a reasonably slow pace, my speed, my vertical jump improved dramatically. So there really shouldn't be an issue. You want to have reasonable bulk and cuts. Check out my book over here, Massive Bulking, and that'll help you out. My gym has no rack, so front squats are the only option. How do I progress front squats? You got to do what you got to do. Do you have a leg extension? You could go bodybuilder, and you could do like superset leg extensions and front squats, superset lunges and front squats. You could do volume of front squats. You're going to have to get creative. I don't want to bother with that too much. How do I progress? By doing as little free weight as possible? I don't want to bother. Are you saying you don't want to bother with getting strong? I'm just trying to understand. Because if you don't want to bother with getting strong, then you're not going to see any results. And I'm not trying to be hard or be an ass, but you have to bother with being strong. There's no other way. There's none. And let me know if I'm misunderstanding you. I eat 10 eggs a day and my cholesterol is fine. Good. Your cholesterol is great for health. Great. Eggs are legitimately a superfood. Eat up. Don't believe the nonsense. We have to fight back against this bull crap. If you guys don't believe me, and I'm not some wacko political conspiracy theorist guy, I don't really care about all that crap. What I do know is there are 10 corporations, and corporatism scares the living crap out of me. Like all these corporations that are all intertwined, Like, go search something like, I believe 10 corporations control 90% of the food chain. Let me search that in Google to see how accurate. 10 corporations, 90% food chain. Let's see, what do I get? Oh, here we go. I'm going to pop this up for you guys. You guys just tolerate this for 1 minute, and then we'll drive on, okay? This is from the Googles. 10 companies control the food industry. The 20 firms behind a third of all we don't care about that. Business Insider. These 10 companies control everything you buy. Kellogg's, we'll get rid of this ad. Mars, Coca-Cola, Nestle, PepsiCo. You look at PepsiCo, they own like Frito-Lay, Tostitos, Pepsi, Mug Root Beer, like KFC. They own everything. No, thanks. They own all this processed food and fast food. All of it, right? All of it. And these guys are serving their own interests. There's wild amounts of profit in trash foods. The trashier, the better. The cheaper, the better. These guys are concerned with the bottom line because that's how they survive. And you can call them evil, you can call them whatever, but the bottom line is the bottom line. They're about the bottom line. There's no profit in eggs and there's no profit in meat, right? So if they make a high protein something, it's going to have the cheapest ass possible protein you can put in it. And they're going to go to war with foods like this because they don't make them. You don't see like Nestle's eggs, right? You don't, because there's no profit in this stuff. So don't believe the hype. Who would win in a tag team fight? GVS and Doucette versus Faz and Nippard. I'm going to go 100% GVS and Greg Doucette. You guys can let me know. Doucette, like GVS, physically intimidating. Greg Doucette, he's kind of like that sneaky, he's going to do something illegal. He's going to be like he's going to be like the guy that's going to sneak in something when the ref's not looking. And he might even get a pop for it, Faz and Nippard, they hold their own, but look, I got to go with GVS and Greg Doucette. Thoughts on walking dumbbell lunges? I like alternating lunges, okay? Walking, like a lot of times when we look at lunges, we think we have to walk. We can just do alternating left, right, left, same thing. But that's fine. Just make sure, I like lunges a lot. Just make sure you're doing them correctly. John Paul, are hams and glutes gains on good mornings comparatively lower? It depends on how you do them. What I suggest if you're going to do a good morning is that you do wide stance, elevated good morning. And you kind of do that a RDL where you push your glutes back and get that hamstring stretch. So they're a good exercise. They're a particularly good exercise to do after squats. If you're doing squats, you can immediately drop the weight down and do a wide stance, heels elevated good morning, or just a wide stance good morning. Christos, I get shoulder pain. Oh, excuse me, some pain in the front of my shoulder when I'm curling in my bum shoulder. Is it on? I would have to know more, but is it all curling lifts or some curling lifts? So I also have to know how you're doing it. Is it a single arm or double arm? A single arm, you can kind of lean in and get that good contraction. There's a lot of other variations we could do, Christos. So just kind of flesh that out a little bit, and I'd be glad to help. My gym has only 5 kg increments after 30 kgs. How to progressively dumbbells. So, all right, let's say you're doing 25. Let's say you're doing 30 kgs on dumbbell bench. 30, 30, 30. You hit 10 reps. And you want to go up to 35. Maybe do 35, 30, 30. And when that 35 hits 10, then do 35, 35, 30. And when the first two 35s hit 10, then move to 35, 35, 35. So it's kind of a form of double progression. Does that make sense? Someone who trains muscles every 7 days versus 9 days. Yeah, they will if they go hard. 9 is pushing it. And look, here's the honest truth. I've never seen anybody train 9 days for 5 years. Never. So I would say it's kind of a hypothetical that doesn't exist, right? You might have a season in your life where you can only change every muscle group or train every muscle group for 9 days, and that's fine. And as long as you're training hard and eating right, you're going to see progress. Beyond 9 days scares me a little bit, but for a season, it's fine. Air raid band. Can low bar squats and hex bar deadlifts replace? Absolutely. You don't need straight bar deads. Hex bars are fine. Low bar squats, it depends on your body type, limb lengths and leverages. But yeah, absolutely. Late to the pate. We'll probably get interrupted and have to finish later. Thank you. I appreciate your kind words. Is it normal to sleep less on a cut? It can be. Like the first few days when I drop to a lower calorie intake, sometimes I feel like I'm up all night. Don't overthink it, though. A few days isn't going to affect muscle retention. The body's not that fragile. If you're training properly, it's not like you're going to deteriorate into a stick figure. If you train properly, muscle retention is not an issue. It really, really isn't. It's way overblown. It's been a fear that has been induced by the bodybuilding world, by people that are getting close to stage ready levels of body fat. You guys do not have to worry about muscle loss on a cut, even with crappy sleep, as long as you're training properly. Everyone, hit like and join Team Massive. Thank you. More anabolic than sleep. Yeah, without it, you would die. LKJ at 2, you recommend to bulk 10 pounds, cut 10 pounds. Will a slower bulk make you more jacked? I'm not sure if you're asking protocol is considered bulk. You can get more aggressive, but still do the 10-10. Okay, but if you get more aggressive in a bulk, here's the thing. You can get more aggressive on a bulk, but it's going to create a longer cut, which is going to create more time away that year from bulking and building. So the more aggressive you get on a bulk, the more time it takes away during that year or on the average year from building. So if you do it my way, bulk 10 pounds over 3, 4, 5 months and then cut 10 pounds and then bulk 10 pounds over 3, 4, 5 months, you're going to be in a bulk over 10 months out of the year. You're going to be building more than 10 months out of the year. If you do a super aggressive bulk, you're probably going to end up with you might increase the rate of muscle gains a little bit. Let's say 20, 25%. But the time you spend cutting is going to be far more substantial. So overall, when you factor that in, you're probably going to build less muscle over the course of a year. There are some exceptions. If you're training like a freak and you want to do a sustained bulk over the course of 10 or 12 months, then you're probably going to build a lot of muscle. But eventually you're going to have to pay the piper. Pretty Pink MMA, is an Army doing any tips on integrating running into your 28-day? The only thing really is I don't like to run the day before school deads. I'd rather run days after. Other can squeeze in plenty of running days a week. Dr. AJ, amen, and thank you for sharing. Thank you. And by the way, thank you for fighting against the maintenance and main gaining roller coaster. This kept a former skinny guy. Barn, good morning. She has a YouTube, one of my clients. I hope you're doing well. I'm going to be hopping back over to my client work as soon as I'm done with this. Marshmallow. Watch your videos, but first live stream and jumped in at the perfect time. Appreciate you telling your story. Thank you. I appreciate that. The Liver King rant response in this video was amazing. Thank you. Thank you for being yourself. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'll always do myself. Look, I always do myself. I'm going to do myself. That sounds a little pornographic. I'm just going to continue to do what I can to help you guys. And I sincerely appreciate your support. Thoughts on the YouTubers who say you can't get anywhere near 90%. after 5 years. Who said this stuff? I was at 90% of my genetic potential after 3 years. You can't get anywhere near. I don't know what kind of nonsense is this. That's all I have to say. Richard, what's more effective for a 3 time a week full body routine? Rest, pause, or I don't like antagonistic supersets. Antagonistic are like bench and barbell row. I don't like it because the second set, you're going to have some cardiovascular deficit and not a muscular deficit. I don't like it. Some rest pause stuff is okay. You probably need a good mix of conventional progression and maybe some rest pause worked in where it makes sense. All right, Brett and Gatorade. I have elbow tendonitis in both arms. I got Versagrip Pro. Should I take any time? Nah. You might have to go a little bit lighter. But just get the hang of it and just do what you can do. Focus on what you can do. And when the pain is unbearable, just kill it. Did your college professor really have 19-inch lean arms? Dr. Mike, I don't think Mike was natural. Dr. Mike looked like he weighed about 230. And I was a kid. That was my college mentor. He was an English professor when I was first learning lifting. He was probably 22% body fat with 19-inch arms. That's what it looked like. Maybe 20. He looked a little saucy, right? Just moderately saucy. Like he looked like one of those. He looked like a step below the big guys in the 80s that was in the off season. Is that a good way to describe it? Did 245s on each side on hack squat. Don't know if it's 180. I just count on hacks. I don't count the sled. On leg presses, I don't count the sled because we simply don't know. So I always count it as 180. Is there a reasonable progression overload scheme? There's tons of reasonable progression overload schemes. I had a video on my progression schemes recently. And I'm just trying to see massive YouTube. I'm trying to see if you search it. Yeah, search massive iron YouTube because if I search massive, I get Drake. All right, massive iron YouTube. If you go to the main channel in the search button and you search progression, the first thing you'd get is my 4 progression approaches for mass and strength. So search my 4 progression approaches in massive iron, and you're going to get them. I also have the PDF of them here. Is there any merit to claims about whole milk being? No. No, look, food is good, right? Like nutrients are good, right? But no food is going to be anabolic. There's good food and there's crap food, right? But no food's going to bring you to a hyperphysiological level. Your daughter is jacked, amazing. She is a freak, truly, and such a sweet person. From a pure hypertrophy perspective, I don't think nutrient quality, micronutrient matter as much as micronutrients matter. Micronutrients are the core of health and the core of bad health. If you want to run the short term, just getting in nutrients or macros, you're not taking care of your body. And I will tell you, we obviously need balance in life. 80%. I'm big on animal-based and plant-based. Look, eating junk nearly killed me. I'm biased. So you need nutrients, man. You need them. This is one thing I detest, and I'm not going after man specifically, but I detest just focusing on macros. It's just energy, right? I can eat Gatorade and Little Debbie's, right? Micronutrients matter. Let's take care of ourselves. Taking care of ourselves matters. This is a non-question. And for any of you watching, this is a complete non-question, right? Nutrients freaking matter. Take care of your body. You want to get in a little this, a little that. I eat pizza. I drink beer. I have nachos. I have a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But man, I will tell you, I crush my nutrients. For dinner tonight, it's elk and eggs and 3 or 4 plant-based choices. Crush my nutrients. Take care of yourself, guys. Let's not get in this muscle building tunnel where like we just want to eat crap and we don't care about nutrients. That's a fool's game. And nutrients, we have human cells, guys. We have cells that need things to be optimal. We live in a world of optimization when it comes to training. What's the optimal training split? People are going to fucking shit out a testicle out of their ass if somebody does a body part split because they don't consider it optimal. But on the other hand, like nutrients aren't optimal, right? Nutrients are fucking optimal, guys. Your cells, nutrients matter, not just calories. Let's be smart here. You want to talk optimal? That's the cornerstone of optimal. Get in your nutrients. There, my rant's done. Did I do okay? Rate the rant, would you? MG254 reminds me of that vegan douche that went after Mountain Dog's son after he passed. Yeah, it happens, man. It does. Bill, happy Friday. Big Bill. When transitioning training phases, is it fine to do a mini cut? Yeah, it's okay to do a mini cut or maintenance for a week, 10 days, 2 weeks. That's a good time to do it. When you transition to a new program, you want to have a period of time where you're not training hard. A week, 10 days, take a break, and then ramp up into it. Is it true as you get older, your fat distribution changes? The reason why you get Mike, what are you talking about, Mike? Mike. The reason men get visceral fat stores is because of their diet and their drinking habits. Men store fat the same place when they're young and when they're old. I don't know what Mike said, but this is silliness. Do you think young guys like get it in the booty? Like, I got a big fat booty, right? Or you get fat shoulders, right? This is bad nonsense. Guys get it in the same spot: man boobs, belly, visceral internal fat, love handles, and lower back fat. Why wouldn't low nutrient quality just be dirty bulking? It is. And it's just a fool's game. You guys can eat all the crap you want. But if we want to optimize, it starts with your food. We live in a world where everybody's killing themselves with food. I want to encourage you guys to be better than that. Have your stuff, your 20%. You earned it. But for the love of all things holy, crush your freaking nutrients, right? Crush them. Optimization, your cells need them. On my second go around on your bench program, but I feel I've bruised my sternum. Well, that wasn't part of the program. Should I rest with my current bench? I would probably deload 20%, try to hold steady, and then maybe ramp back into it. How's it going, Mr. Awakening? I appreciate it. Oops, that was supposed to be a question mark. No problem. Half a K to 100K. Thanks. Thank you, Scotty Mac. I appreciate it. Aaron Angel, I'm going to be traveling to the Philippines in a little over 3 weeks. Any tips on how not to lose gains? Well, first off, 3 weeks isn't a lot. So you're not, trivial loss. Trivial. I don't really even think loss starts till after like 2 weeks. And then it's trivial. Don't worry about it. Do some stuff. Have fun. Body weight jump squats, push-ups, pushbacks, dips between chairs. Do a little bit to stay active. Don't overthink it. But you'll be fine. And look, muscle memory is a real thing. Even if you lose a couple ounces, it'll come back lightning quick when you get back. So enjoy your time away. How do you push yourself harder in the gym? Part of this is thinking you're pushing hard rather than actually pushing a set hard. I want to challenge you guys go to a commercial gym, go to the assisted triceps press down machine. Okay, here's the challenge. Report back next week. Go to the assisted triceps push down machine or go to the seated cable row or go to the machine chest press, or all three. I want you to start with a weight that's about 1/3 of the way down the stack, okay? And I want you to do 6 to 8 reps. Rest a minute, move up in weight, do 6 to 8 reps, rest a minute, move up in weight. And I want you to keep going until you physically can't do 8 reps, till you physically can't move it an inch. When you get there, I guarantee for 98% of you, you're going to look at what you just did, and it's going to be far superior than any set you've done previously. Because too many of us are not pushing at least one set per exercise to the limit. That should be the determiner of when to add weight. And when you do so, you add weight. My wife is dumbbell curling 25s for 3 sets of 15. She's not superhuman, but she's pushing herself. If you push your curls to 15 reps, that means move to 30s. Not, I'm going to move to 30s when I feel like it. That's a failure game. I want you guys to try this on assisted triceps pushdowns, seated cable rows, machine chest press, a machine with a stack. And I want you to push until you physically can't do 8 reps. And then report back. It's going to be more than you've ever done, probably by a mile. Big, hairy, ugly dude, can you please recommend the squats? If you can't squat, you want to do, depending on your gym or situation, leg press, 45-degree, leg press horizontal, leverage squat, pendulum squat, hack squats, leg extensions, lunges, Bulgarian split squats, goblet squats. What am I missing? All kinds of good stuff. All kinds of good stuff. As long as you're pushing yourself hard, you'll be absolutely fine. Aaron, any tips for not losing? Oh, we already got that one. Danielle, I have lower back pain when squatting. What you probably need, Danielle, is for me to look at your squat. You can send a video to Instagram at Ben the Barman, or you can join Team Massive. You probably need to go lighter and let somebody check your squat, because that's usually a sign either your form is off or your lower back just needs a little bit more time to acclimate to the squats. Crap, I had to reboot the web. I can't remember. This was my last pro show. Steve's bro to the end. You could call big food evil, except for the redeeming fact that it is 1,000%. It is in our control. You're right. And I'm not cutting anybody slack. You are 100% right. It is in our control, but that's even more reason to avoid fueling their profits. Animal-based, plant-based. Stay out of the big food, right? Not just for a political statement, right? We're not trying to get political here. Most of their food is crap. It's just crap. 80% of your food needs to be animal-based or plant-based. Meat, eggs, strawberries, avocado, nuts, black beans. Not hard. Doucette would hit with a low blow. If someone is in a cutting phase, training push-pull legs, eating in a deficit, how many days of cardio? Look, for starters, if you're in a cut, starters, okay? One thing to remember is unless you're morbidly obese, this is going to be a shortcut. So we want to get in, we want to get it over with, we want to get out. You're losing 10, 15, maybe 20 pounds. Boom, get it over with. Don't screw around. Get it over with. Don't extend it. You probably want to aim for, the average individual wants to aim for 7,500 steps a day, just for general health, cut or no cut. As a starting point for cardio, it's probably, in addition to steps, a good idea to aim for an hour of extra movement above that. That could be a hike. That could be running. That could be faster. That could be extra sex. I don't really care. Very nice. Does that make sense? Paul X, disregard if you already answered this. Hey, you guys can ask all the questions I've already answered a million times. That's what I'm here for. Could you go over what it takes to maintain a physique once you're happy? Nothing much at all, Paul. Nothing much at all. 2 times a week training, couple sets per exercise, not allowing your strength to go away. You don't really have to push for progression. And really just your body's going to hold the mass as long as you don't do anything ridiculous from a diet stage or standpoint. Good morning. First time viewer. Thank you for tuning in. Got a question. What do you think of Mike Mentz's program? There are some good things you can take away from it, like the intensity and pushing sets to the limit, but too much of it is too much. Okay. Like, you can't generalize and say you have to push every exercise to the limit. Some are more forgiving than others, like pushing a deadlift to the limit. I've seen Mike Mentzer work with somebody where they're pushing deadlifts to the limit. That's a good way to hurt yourself. So I'm not a fan of the more minimal type of training. Pushing at least one set to as hard as you can for max safe reps is a good idea. And maybe using some intensity technique the last set of every exercise is probably a good place for it. I average about 68K volume on upper days, and are these good amounts? As far as upper, that's 68K. As long as you're progressing. Focus on progression, not volume, right? Just focus on progression. You're going to be fine. I was asking if my progression team gets coach approval. Yeah, that'll be a grind, man. That'll be a grind, but 100%. That's a grind, but that, like, if you bench 185 by 8, let's say you bench 155 by 3 sets of 8, just theoretically. And you take that and you get your bench up to 3 sets of 15, you're going to be a freak. Okay. That's absolutely perfect. Dude, where's my car? Did you ever think of competing? I've thought about it. My wife's competing in the spring. And right now I'm moving more towards volume, more conventional bodybuilding stuff. So I thought about it. If you don't care about physical appearance, would it make sense to end a cut based on? Yeah, absolutely. Well, not on strength loss. I think it has to do with where you want to go in the end. Number one, you don't want to end up on the obesity, on the danger scale as far as weight, the heart attack scale for men. Like when men get above 240, they're in the heart attack zone, right? So you kind of want to make sure you never get in, as long as it's not mentally burdening you, like you're not depressed. And I wouldn't base it off strength. I would have a more defined concrete goal. I want to lose 10 pounds and then get back at my bulk. Something more substantial and concrete. Does that make sense? I've heard being in a deficit can reduce testosterone. If it does, it's trivial and for a short period of time. This is nothing we have to worry about. None of us. Look, there's 2 scenarios here. Number one, you're a McFatty like I used to be. You're a lard ass, you're a fat ass, you're a balloon ass, you're a big, morbidly obese slob like I used to be, and you're about to die because you're so fat you're about to pop. That's where I was. Just using humor. But that's true. You have 2 scenarios. You're way overweight. In that scenario, your testosterone's already crap because you're eating like crap, you're not taking care of your body. And losing weight is just going to improve your testosterone levels because you're probably eating better. That's scenario 1. Okay? You're a blubber butt like I used to be. Number 2, you're an average guy that just needs to do a 10, 15-pound cut. In that scenario, you're not going to see really any difference in your testosterone levels. You might feel a little weaker. Your glycogen levels might be down a little bit. In the long run, there's no negatives at all. This is just think of the big picture, taking care of yourself with food. Even if this was the case, it's temporary and it's very short term and it's trivial. I'm trying your bench 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and the 5, 10, 10, 20, and I'm loving it. Great. I'm really glad to hear that. Let me know how it goes for you. I've asked it before. YouTube hates me. No worries at all. Thanks, John. Appreciate it. And you're welcome. Elliot, last call, guys. I'm going to hop off. This is the last question unless you toss it in now. Just want to say thanks for the no BS info you share. There's so much crap floating around the YouTube. Thank you. And I sincerely appreciate it. Sometimes I don't know if my sense of humor gets lost on people like my videos yesterday, but thank you guys. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. All right, guys, that's it for today. We're almost at 2 hours. Amazing questions today. I can't thank you guys enough. Please come back next week. Please come back next week and join us. And if I missed your questions, head over to Instagram at @BenTheBarman. Oh, we got a couple that snuck in at the end. Are there any exercises you think benefit more than others from drop sets? You can do a drop set really on any exercise, but I would do it on the last set of an exercise. Like machine exercises are really good to do drops because you can just quickly change the weight. If you have a pretty reasonable dumbbell space, and let's say you, on your third set of dumbbell bench, you could maybe bring over a lighter dumbbell and set it down and grab the lighter dumbbells and do it. So dumbbells and machines are really good, and I would do that probably on the last set of an exercise when you feel like it. My bench is not growing. Any tips? Join Team Massive. Check out my bench programs here. Check out the courses. Just go over to my channel and search bench and find all 100 videos. Watch them. Albert, can I become the next Mr. Olympia? Say this, become the next. You have the same chance. Listen to me, guys. This is serious. You have the same chance of becoming Mr. Olympia as you do of becoming the next Danny D. The same chance. All right, guys, I'm out of here.
It's not almost over. You're not almost there. You're not almost there. You're not almost there.